Hey everybody, welcome to another gorgeous day here on Mackinac Island. You're in for another sweet treat today. We're going to tour through Skyview Cottage, one of my favorite major restorations that my team and I were involved in. And this one is a really, really cool little cottage. Let's check it out. All right, everybody, welcome to Skyview Cottage here on beautiful Mackinac Island, looking out over the straits of Mackinac. But on the back side of the house, you really can't tell that there's this beautiful sky, water view on the other side of the house at all, because we're in the deep, deep canopy of these big, beautiful cedars. It's really, really quiet on this back street here with some carriages and stuff like that trotting by. And it's really neat to see some of these old features of the landscape still in pretty good shape. So these walls, I'm guessing, are probably original to the cottage. This cottage was built in 1891, so we're going on 130 years old. And my team and I have had to do some, some mortar work and some tuck-in and repair on them and stuff like that over the years. But for the most part, these borders to this driveway, all original. Now, when we started on this job, these walls went all the way through, and there was just a real small little staircase. I guess you can see right here where we made this repair, where some of this mortar is newer. And there was a little staircase right through here that just went up to a little straight concrete sidewalk. Very, very cracked up and broken, just this old little concrete sidewalk going straight up through the ferns, and that was it. Obviously this gigantic, incredible white pine was there. That is quite an incredible specimen for sure. But one of the first things we did is jog that way over here and cut into the wall and dig this all out to make the entry, this little staircase we put in and everything here, and make this go right straight up into that white pine, which is lit and everything at night, and then jog through more of like a garden walkway here with the flagstone path and a really cute little kind of garden planting through here. We do this flagstone work a lot like this. This one kind of has a real mossy joint, a little bit of grass in there. And the flagstone set in grade like this. It's very, very Mackinac kind of cottage look. We like it because you can just mow right over it and keep it, kind of blown off really, really easily. It's a very, cottagey kind of informal look for a little walkway coming up through here. Under this birch, we've got some classics here. I see this bleeding heart with its beautiful foliage, but needs to be cut back because it's definitely way past flowering. And I can cut it back, get some of that foliage cut back there, and kind of open up some of these other perennials. See, it's daylily time, so these daylilies need a little time to shine. So we'll just cut back that bleeding heart and allow for those daylilies to have a little bit of space. Get this bleeding heart off of the path here and give that a little bit nicer shape. I'll come and clean that up later, I promise. These are a fun daylily here. These are really beautiful, kind of bright yellow. This one's called Happy Returns. There's another one, these are the ever-blooming kind of smaller flower but longer flowering period of a daylily. And another one that we use a lot is called Rosy Returns. That's really nice. It's a pink, similar flower and size. Another favorite of mine is the Amethyst Mist verbena. I use this a lot at my grandma's house and pretty much everywhere all over the island this year. And these urns, this is all we did here was take an entire hanging basket and plunk it right into these urns, and off they go. So they're doing really, really well. Very, very happy here in kind of this part sun, environment. These are calliope dark red geranium. Calliope dark red is by far my favorite because it's like a velvety red. You can just about squeeze the purple out of it. It goes really, really well with, well, pretty much anything. I don't really like the candy apple or real orangey red. I am a big red fan, but it's definitely got to be more on the deeper purpley side of red. Anyway, on this pathway back here into the back side of the cottage, we go through this this pair of royalty crab apples. These bloom beautifully, like a real deep dark burgundy flower in the springtime, and they hold that burgundy foliage all season long. It's looking like this one's needing a little bit of pruning, but kind of a fun entryway. The idea in design here is I wanted these to make this sort of arch of burgundy as you're looking out at all this green and blue beyond. This garden walks its way down in through here. There's a lot going on in this garden that people don't know about. Like underneath me right now is this massive drainage system that we put in because all of the roofs, all of the water coming off of all these roofs and everything come down, pour into this drain stone back here along the cottage, and all of it funnels into this massive drain underneath here, and then it goes into a series of pipes and shoots out this wall on the back side here. It was quite a process rebuilding this big stone and mortar wall because the wall, when we started on this project, had completely collapsed. Nobody had really touched or done anything with this landscape, from what I hear, since like the 1950s, and it showed. It was in pretty bad shape. So we really got it into and reimagined it. And one of my favorite combos is in full bloom right now. These Hyperion daylilies and classic, beautiful Shasta daisies. Look at that combo. They bloom together, and it's such a fun play on foliage and color, and just screams summertime and sunshine as they reach out along this path here. The clients absolutely love this planting right here. And they're kind of hidden in there, but you don't even see that in and amongst here are some irises. So this is purple Siberian iris called Caesar's brother, and there's Caesar's brother are woven in through here. You don't see them at all right now, but in the springtime we had these awesome Caesar's brother purple irises. There's peonies dotted through here, which now we're just enjoying for their foliage, because after they flower we can cut them back. The foliage is great. We've got some awesome texture and stuff happening there. And now it's time for the hydrangea show. So here we've got quickfire hydrangea. These actually, I think these are pink diamond hydrangea. They're not quickfire. These are pink diamond. As you can see, they're just starting to develop their flower heads there. And these will be spiking up, really awesome. Kind of go from deep ruby pink up to white at the tips and a big panicle cone shape. And that's a great combo there with those irises, peonies, and hydrangeas. So we just get this really long bloom time and period there. So this, again, about the restoration of this property, this whole entire patio space was about 4 feet below where I am now. We filled this all in and leveled this all out. They put this really awesome patio furniture and chair out here. The clients aren't here right now, so all that stuff is stored away. And then as you can see, they've got this killer view looking west here at the beautiful Mackinac Bridge, some other iconic Mackinac Island cottages here on the bluff. And then over toward the east, look at that, like Caribbean-like water, but that's Round Island out there with the Round Island Lighthouse is the red and white one. and this is known as the Straits of Mackinac. I can see here that my team and I have to get out here and trim this down to keep this view intact, and this is a tricky one to trim. I don't know if you can tell, but that is much further than I can reach. So what we do is we actually lay a large piece of plywood on here, harness up, strap in, crawl out there on a big sheet of plywood with a big hedge trimmer, and trim this all down and keep it down about another foot or so, below this. So when you're standing here, you can see out with this really nice uninterrupted view. You can see even further over to the east, there's the iconic Grand Hotel. So one of my favorite things about this cottage is the size. It's really a very small, quaint little cottage. For Mackinac Island cottage, bluff view standards like this. This one is only a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So I love it because I can imagine if I were to have it, I could maintain it myself. Where so many of these others, you need an army of people to maintain them and keep them painted and cleaned, and the landscaping and the mowing and all of that stuff requires quite a bit of love, and this one is just a little bit more doable, I would say, but beautiful spot nonetheless. So another really fun aspect of this restoration work we did here was rebuilding and reimagining these old stone tiers that went down the whole front face of the property. This staircase was not here at all. In fact, when we started, the staircase was an old wooden staircase that started about back here, and there was a little concrete walkway around the house, and that was it. And the old wooden staircase just went down through some stumps and ratty dead trees. You could hardly even see the water from where I'm standing, actually. And a ton of poison ivy, I do remember that. But we actually broke through the old original retaining wall and carved out and put this stone staircase in. So all of these walls are brand new, but we built them in the same fashion as the old original walls to really let it just blend right in. And they're already starting to kind of patina out and look like they've always been here. And a great feature of this landscape is these rugosa roses. Oh wow, look at this. This spider has this bee by the head. He's like, oh, you're interrupting my lunch. Look at that. Well, you never know what you're gonna find, but anyway, there's bees all in here. So sorry guys, but I do love these rugosas, and I would love to use them in every landscape, but you got to be careful with rugosa roses. They will spread like crazy and become a real problem, but they're so fragrant. There's another bee in there right there. They're so fragrant though, and lovely. And the reason we were able to plant them here is this tier is completely encased in concrete. So there's a stone wall all the way around the base of it, and then obviously behind it as well, holding up that upper patio. So this whole big hedge of rugosa roses, we were able to plant in there without any worry of them going anywhere. And they bloom just prolifically all summer long, and the fragrance rolls right in through the cottage. They're just awesome right there. And they stay put. Then down through here, we kind of have this beautiful river of juniper separating out a predominantly hydrangea and variegated dogwood planting in the back, and then a lot of flowering perennials and roses and stuff down in front of that river of juniper. And we'll jump down in through there. I snuck this little bench in here. These were a couple of extra broken pieces when we were building this stone staircase. These broken chunks, inevitably when you order this much stone, you get some broken pieces and some random odd chunks, but they were the perfect little size to tuck in here in and amongst these boulders and make a little bench here to kind of perch and look out and hide in underneath these lilacs and everything. Let's see, we've got a little bit of lighting to fix up, always working. This is all looking really, really nice. I can see my team was just recently through here because I can see that they did take care of a few things that I noted and wanted them to, which is great. But I love that staircase and how it was never there before, but it looks like it's always been there. Underneath this beautiful pagoda dogwood and lilacs spills out, the staircase just spills right out into this lower lawn. And then we can look back up at the cottage and you can see that river band of the juniper, which is a really important factor in this hillside garden because it just zigzags and divides. That upper planting, which is lilac, hydrangea, variegated dogwood, so we've got some bigger, shrubbier elements up there. And then down in here, a lot more of our perennial favorites. Some Russian sage is coming along here and getting ready to do its thing. We've got some classic black-eyed Susan there. And coneflower, roses, a few more hydrangeas down in here as well. It looks beautiful right now, but in another week or two, this will be even more bloomed out, especially with all these big clumps of coneflowers. It's really pretty sweet spot. I'm seeing always, every time I go through these gardens and do these little tours, I'm walking through and seeing so many things that we always have to be doing and working on. Seeing dead branches that need to be pruned, weeds that need to be pulled, things that need to be cut down and shaped for the view and whatnot. There's always something to be done. My clients, of course, never like to hear that a garden is never finished, but a landscape like this needs constant love. So get out there, get out in your own gardens, give it some love. Thank you all for gardening and doing all that you do. Thanks for joining me on this tour here, and we'll see y'all in the next video.